Be warned, this video will contain spoilers. The ending of Squid Game Season 3 wasn't just the conclusion of Gihan's story. It was a confrontation between everything he believed in and everything the games tried to strip away. After 23 episodes across 3 seasons, what we saw wasn't simply a finale. It was a culmination of humanity pushed to its limits. And if you've made it through the heartbreak, the betrayals, and the devastating decisions of this season, then you know the final moments didn't just challenge Gihan, they challenged us as viewers. The final game, Sky's Squid Game, took place quite literally above the world, but the moral lows that the characters sank to couldn't have been deeper. The choice that Gihan was handed, murder all remaining players in their sleep, just like Inho once did, or play the game with his soul intact, wasn't just about survival. It was about identity. It was a test of whether Gihan would become the very thing he swore to fight against. He didn't. And that mattered more than any prize money. He let the game go ahead, refusing to cheat, refusing to break the last piece of his conscience. But that didn't mean the others followed his lead. Mungji, one of the most unsettling characters in the entire series, proved how far greed can push someone. The idea that he was willing to kill his own newborn daughter for prize money? That wasn't just evil. It was a mirror held up to the darkest parts of the human condition. And even then, in their climactic battle, Gihan tried to save him. Even though Mungji was moments away from killing him, Gihan reached out. That moment, that raw, emotional hesitation, was everything the show had been building to. Gihan's humanity never died, even when he did. And speaking of that ending, Gihan's final words, "We are not horses. We are humans," interrupted by his step off the platform. That visual of sacrifice was haunting. It wasn't just a message to the VIPs. It was a message to us. That final act gave the newborn a future, something none of the other characters had been willing to protect without conditions. And for Kang No, who watched it unfold from a screen while standing on the edge of her own despair, it pulled her back from the brink. His sacrifice reminded her that there is goodness, even in the darkest places. And if you thought that was the end of the games, the closing scene tells us otherwise. The recruiter playing Darkji in Los Angeles? That chilling visual makes it clear, Squid Game has gone global. It's no longer confined to one island, one country, or even one system. It's a machine, and it's expanding. Whether Inho's appearance in the US marks the beginning of a new cycle or a final act of atonement is something we're left to decide. But one thing's for sure, the nightmare didn't die with Gihan. Let's talk about the deaths this season, because there were many, and they weren't just shocking, they were devastating. Hyunju's death in the hide-and-seek game felt like a punch to the chest. She had the chance to escape, to live, but she went back for her friends. And Mungji murdered her anyway, not out of necessity, but out of cold, selfish calculation. And then there was Kyungja, who saved her son once but was forced to kill him to save another. That contradiction, love becoming violence, was heart-wrenching. Her death was unexpected, and it lingered. Then came the jump rope game. Jong-hee, injured and broken, made one last wish, that her child survives. That was her only concern. And so she jumped. Off the edge. Gone. These deaths weren't just about shock, they were designed to hurt. They reminded us that in a world where the powerful profit off suffering, the ones who care the most often pay the highest price. Gihan's death, however, was different. It wasn't about loss, it was about hope. He never betrayed his beliefs. He never sold his soul. He didn't win the game, but he won something greater. The right to die as himself, uncorrupted. That's what made his death the most powerful of all. Even outside the games, we saw where the pieces fell. Junho lost his title, Kang No took a leap of faith toward her daughter in China, and Inho left Gihan's daughter with everything, the money, the legacy. And even though she had every reason to reject him, his gesture mattered. It showed that maybe, just maybe, some part of him changed. Whether that redemption is enough, that's something the show wisely leaves unanswered. And now that the games have spread, the question is, who's next? Will there be new frontmen? Will the system evolve? Or is this truly the end? One thing is clear, Squid Game didn't end quietly. It ended with a scream into the abyss. So now, I want to hear from you. What did you make of Gihan's final decision? Do you think the games are really over? Or is this just the beginning of something even darker? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. More breakdowns and deep dives are on the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.